It was a chaotic Monday at the global markets, a massacre, if you will, and all thanks to US President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs. US stocks tumbled for a third straight day Monday, and the S&P 500 entered bear market territory. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down more than 17% below its record high, as fears of a recession mounted on Monday, with some media outlets saying that the Trump administration was mulling a 90-day pause on tariffs, with the exception of China. Investors breathed a huge sigh of relief, but then White House official refuting those claims, saying such reports were fake news. Trump calls it medicine, but for investors, it's a bitter pill to swallow. On Monday morning, markets were in free fall from Tokyo to London. The outlook was grim. Asian equities suffered steep declines, while European shares plunged to their lowest in 16 months. Oil prices still plummeting. Anxiety about a US recession is palpable. Goldman Sachs has predicted a 45% chance of recession, 45% within the 12 months. But even as global markets spiral downward, Trump took to Truth Social, calling the situation a quote-unquote beautiful thing to behold. He claimed that tariffs were the remedy for America's massive financial deficits with countries like China, even the European Union, and that they are already bringing in billions. He insists that foreign governments will have to pay a lot of money in order to lift these levies.
Is there pain in the market at some point? You're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put? Is there a threshold?
I think your question is so stupid. I mean, I think it's I don't want anything to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something. We will be taking in over $1 trillion over the next short period of time with the tariffs that I've already instituted. They're already in place.
So what exactly is Trump's strategy is the immediate question. Will these tariffs lead to a recession? Economists are surely concerned, and the signs are troubling. Let's just take a closer look at Asia for now. On Monday, stocks experienced their worst rout in decades. Japan's Nikkei plummeted by 8.8%, hitting levels not seen since October 2023, and finished down 7.8%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index collapsed by 13.2%, which is its most significant one-day decline since 1997. Taiwan witnessed a 9.7% drop. That's the biggest ever one-day drop on record, by the way. While China's Shanghai Composite Index closed down 7.34%, just to give you a sense of what things look like. In an attempt to stabilize markets, China's sovereign fund intervened, but it was a morning of devastation across the board. Let's just look at Europe for now. European markets followed suit. Banks and defense companies took big hits. Once hot-performing defense shares experienced their largest declines since April 2020. Even billionaire investor Bill Ackman, who backed Trump's presidential campaign, is now calling for a pause on the tariffs to prevent an economic nuclear winter, quote-unquote. He said, and I'm quoting, "The president is losing the confidence of business leaders around the globe." The recession fears are very real. It means a significant decline in economic activity persisting for months. It's evident in the GDP, employment, retail sales, for that matter. Forbes warns that a recession in 2025 could trigger widespread economic disruption, soaring unemployment, and a substantial contraction of corporate profits. In fact, small businesses in particular may face dire consequences because they have limited financial buffers. Just to put this simply, the common man is hit the hardest, with job losses, reduced wages, difficulty finding new work, along with potential strain on finances, and a general sense of economic uncertainty. According to Forbes, the potential fallout in the US could erase $5 to $8 trillion in household wealth and further suppress consumer spending. But here's what's compounding the issue in the United States. Recent budget cuts by the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency have allegedly weakened safety nets like unemployment insurance, food assistance. The bottom line is grim: mounting inflation, high interest rates, rising household debt, and escalating trade tensions, now worsened by the sweeping Trump tariffs. It's the perfect cocktail of factors to bring recession risks to a critical level. Yet, Donald Trump remains unfazed, it seems. Despite the trillions lost in market value, he said, and I'm quoting here, "I don't want anything to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something," quote unquote. As he returned from a weekend of golfing in Florida, the US president emphasized that foreign negotiations depend on monetary concessions. On Monday, he urged patience and warned against panic as markets drop. In a post Monday ahead of markets opening in the United States, he said, and I'm quoting, "The United States has a chance to do something that should have been done decades ago. Don't be weak, don't be stupid, don't be a panickin," quote unquote. So is this a strategy to secure concessions? Or will this redefine US trade policy permanently? The short and simple answer is, we don't know. Even investors and political leaders, for that matter, are struggling to understand Trump's true intentions. Denmark's foreign and trade minister, in fact, has described the tariffs as an attack on free trade essential for global prosperity. On Monday, President Trump said that countries from all over the world are talking to the US after he announced the reciprocal tariffs last week. He said that tough but fair parameters are being set, and specifically mentioned that the Japanese Prime Minister is sending negotiators. Taiwan's president has reportedly proposed zero tariffs to facilitate talks and has promised that Taiwanese companies will increase US investments. But even as these discussions continue to unfold, investors are not waiting around. Clearly, gold, which is typically viewed as a safe haven during turmoil, has also suffered as investors sold off to cover losses elsewhere. Now, as the dust settles, one thing is clear: the impact of Trump's tariffs is far-reaching. We are now in an era of uncertainty, to say the least. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.